Hello, everyone. Today I am making a watercolor birthday card. So I just got into watercolors. Oh, it's been almost a calendar year since I started working with watercolors. Um, it is one of those media that's I'm still very much learning, but uh, I really like the direction that I'm taking with it. I started out doing watercolor as part of my intuitive painting. So I do intuitive painting where I use the watercolor as a base to get a very loose idea and just kind of let uh, the paint tell the story. Well, now I've started moving into making recognizable things with watercolors. So, today's painting, it's a birthday card for a family member, and I am going to attempt to make lavender. And if I with just watercolor paint. If I happen to screw it up, the really cool thing about watercolor is it's actually quite easy to paint over. So I did a few birthday cards back in February, and I was trying to paint from memory a physical object that I had never seen before or painted before, and it failed miserably. I was trying to paint some cars, and I had never seen the cars. I didn't know how to paint the cars, and so I just didn't have the skills to paint it. And it was kind of a, to me, it was a kind of a fun failure. The one painting did turn out like it was definitely recognizable, but I ended up just painting over them and going with some more abstract, just landscapes. So I know that if worse comes to worse, I can always cover this with acrylic. So I've never really used these colors before, and so I'm going to see what this lavender looks like. I'm hoping to paint lilacs, so I'm going to need it pretty light to make it even a little lighter than that. And I'm going to start out very light just because, like I said, I'm new to watercolors and I kind of know the concept behind them, but maybe don't know how to put that into practice. And so, um, and I'm just kind of looking at a picture of a lavender. So the lavenders kind of have this like heart-shaped leaves that kind of come down. And yeah, I kind of think that's the general gist. So then as they get more and more of these heart-shaped leaves, they start taking up the center. And I'm going super light. The wonderful thing about watercolors is I can keep going lighter, and then if I want to go over top of it, I can do a little bit darker. Yeah, and it doesn't look exactly like a lilac. Some of them actually have just extra random ones in there, so that'll be a. And I'm running out of this mix of very light paint, and so I'm gonna kind of end my this lilac, kind of narrowing it down, just so that that whole one kind of has the same color. So that didn't turn out too bad for a very light wash of lilac. So I'm gonna maybe develop a little confidence. Try to make this one a little darker. So again, that kind of heart-shaped leaf on both sides, and then just adding those as I go down. And this birthday cards that I'm making, this person is definitely one of those people that appreciates relaxing, calming, lavendery type stuff. Um, my fun fact with my watercolors this year is for all of my the boys and the men in my family, they are all getting more landscapes and abstract stuff and my acrylic stuff. But all the girls are getting and women are getting flowers or something closely resembling a flower. I just realized that lilacs actually make a triangle at the base, so we're just gonna make that more into a triangle. feel like we could have maybe just a little bit more triangle-y. So they look to me like little pine trees. So yeah, this was I will say it is a version of a lilac bush, not a pro. So now I'm just gonna kind of go back over that and see if I can darken up some of those little spots. That so this is still wet. I'm just gonna add more of that purple, and it's because it's wet, it's starting to bleed, and that's actually a good thing for this because um definitely a noob when it comes to watercolor. And that's gonna add some layers, depth, shadow, all that good stuff. One a painter that I know, she said that to do um, watercolor effectively, you kind of have to be patient. It's not one of my strong suits, and so it's a good exercise. So I guess that's a tip if you struggle with patience. Maybe watercolors for you. Um, so it's kind of interesting that I'm painting lavender, which is known for its relaxing and calming properties. And as I'm painting it, it is incredibly calming. Not sure when I'm going to post this video, but I'm making this video on a Friday after a long week of work, and this is super relaxing. Oops. I just dropped my paper towels and they rolled and unraveled all the way across my office. If my office didn't have pictures of my friends and family in it, I would zoom out the camera and show you made it almost made it out the doorway. Kind of funny. So now I'm gonna add the green and just see that was a lot of green. And the green can be quite a bit darker, and actually, um, I might need to pull some brown from this because um, the the stems on lilacs are much darker. Um, it doesn't have to be perfect when you're making flowers, obviously, but this definitely needs a little bit of brown. And of course, I just reorganized all of my, I think, burnt umber be kind of in the right ballpark. Might have to go black, not sure, but I just want a little bit of, um, I guess, woodiness to the lilac stems. If any of you have lilac bushes in your yard, they I have to cut them with a chainsaw when I'm pruning them, so they are quite aggressive. So I think I'm gonna add this brown right to the green, and it makes it a little bit muddy, which is perfectly fine. That's kind of the direction I'm going, and I can just this should still be wet, but I can add that right to that green for this super calm, chill salmon number 5. And then I think that's pretty decent for the lilacs. I feel like I could maybe add a little bit of a darker violet, like even just directly to some of these, just to add some shadows and depth. It is not lilac. I mean, it probably is lilac pruning season when I'm making this video. So, but the lilacs are not in bloom, so I can't run out and grab them and study it. Although I feel like that is a challenge that I'd be willing to put upon myself to add a challenge for myself to go out and study the plants. This is also hilarious because so I teach chemistry and earth science and those types of things, and um, I am technically a licensed biology teacher, but uh, biology and botany and that type of stuff is not my strong suit. Um, so I very grudgingly took a botany course in college because I was researching, doing some chemical analysis on a plant, and my advisor thought that I should know how that how those chemicals got into the plant. So, you know, don't know if Christopher Ruland is out there, but he's the one who thought that I should take a botany class way back in the day. For for reference, oh my gosh, that's almost 20 years ago that I took that. And also, he only said that I had to take the lecture portion that dealt with the nutrient uptake of plants. So xylem, phloem, that type of thing. Who knew that you were going to be getting a biology lesson when tuning in for this today's little painting demo? So now that I've got all of these darkened, I actually don't care for them so much, which is kind of funny. That's one of the fun things about painting is you go through, you add these details. On camera, they actually don't look too terrible, but the problem I'm having with this particular thing is that I feel like it just needs a hint of blue and red. It's just something to make that purple have a little bit more depth. And not everywhere, but just here and there, some blue and red, which is definitely more of a hydrangea thing, but like just feel like it needs to be have a little bit more variety for these colors. So I guess on this one I just did the right hand side, just added a little bit of blue to give that color a little bit more depth, I guess. If I knew enough about color theory, what happens when you don't take painting class or don't listen. And then I'll do the same. This red might not be a good red for this purple. I think it's a little bright. I have a little cheap watercolor palette that has kind of more of a pinkish red that I think will be a better fit, but it doesn't have the dark. I really like that. Oops, this is why. So I'm just gonna dry this off and can some of those really dark. I like the very light feel a little bit better. This is just a little bit. They still look very pine tree like. Then so the leaves on, and I'm using just a little thin brush, and I feel like a thicker brush might be more helpful, but I can just it's easy enough to fill in. So lilac, oh my gosh, lavender, not lilac. Just realized I was giving a lecture on lilac bushes, and we're dealing with lavender. You can tell today's a Friday. So just giving some kind of just chunky little leaves that are not too, and then have, maybe its neighbor. It's got a leaf over here, and, maybe a neighboring leaf over here. Right about now, I sound like I'm talking like the master. Happy little leaves here and there, right? So those leaves are looking way brown. So I'm going to kind of dip it right into that bright green and add just a little here and there. Just gonna show bright. Not to dip. Just be careful about whispering into the camera. It's only Gollum. So just adding a little bit of green to those kind of neighboring leaves, and then this definitely is looking a little blocky. Um, I would like to add just some cute little fun kind of purple dots to make this kind of cutesy fun. This may be a good spot where I could mix a little bit of that red with the purple rather than having just a few little dots. I actually really like that. What? So, birthday card, and then when this dries, I'll go ahead and sign it. And 20 minutes to make just a birthday card for a family member. Confused on lilacs versus lavender there for a while, but just a cute little birthday card for them.